Carol Braun is my name. Carol Mosley Braun. To the commission, I have been I've held elective office for over 30 years now in the state of Illinois and nationally. And I have never been fined, sanctioned, censured, or otherwise penalized for campaign finance violations. I take these matters very seriously, and I have always paid attention to how these matters are conducted. In this last unfortunate campaign, however, I had three organizations and two seasoned individuals charged with responsibility for campaign finance, and they did a terrible job. Just as we had ADP, which is a national reporting firm that was supposed to do our electronic filing. We had the Roosevelt Group, which is some seasoned political activists here in the state of Illinois, who were supposed to have overall authority for the campaign. We had a group, L.A. Harris, who were fundraisers, national fundraisers, who came to handle the fundraising and the reporting that went with the receipt of funds. We had an accountant, Hadassah Hickman, who was charged with actually counting and making sure everything was together. And then we had Billy Page, who served as treasurer of the campaign as well as the chairman of the campaign. I had no involvement. I did not have signatory authority on the checkbooks. I had no credit cards. I had no involvement personally with the actual filing and the compliance efforts. When I discovered upon the Commission's first responses to our filings that they were as sloppy as they were, I went out and I hired the first group of people to try to fix the campaign filing reports. They did not do an adequate job, and so I have just most recently hired Barbara Mason of Springfield to go through and to do this. And she wrote a report, which I think is really important, because what she says is she detailed not only the methodology that she used, but how many hours and how much work went into getting this corrected. What she did correct, and at the end of the day, the report's balanced, the cash funds balanced, the receipts, everything is documented properly, and that report by Ms. Mason was filed on the 14th of October. And it shows all of these matters, at least, straightened out and properly accounted for. Every penny accounted for. There is no money in the campaign whatsoever. We have just, within the last few minutes, however, discovered, and I had to pay her in addition to the $4,000 originally. So all told, I'm out of pocket personally about $10,000 just trying to get this matter straightened up. In addition, we just discovered not 5 minutes ago that I had not received until 5 minutes ago, not even that long, Andy, the reports of the examiner, because the address problem, which has been noted by other witnesses here this morning. These reports went to an address that this committee, well, the committee is defunct, so the committee doesn't exist, but because I've been trying to get this straightened out on its behalf, and by the way, I'm not a member of the committee, my name is associated with it, but I've been receiving the mail at a different address for over a year and a half, and yet these recommendations went to the old address, the report of the hearing examiner, so I have just been able to read them while I was sitting here. The long and short of it, though, is that I pray that the commission will grant our appeals, dismiss this matter, even with regard to the escheat mentioned in one of the other ones, but dismiss this and let us carry on for me to personally be held to account for these people's work in this way, when I did everything I could as a candidate to try to get this squared away, and making the extraordinary efforts to try to get it squared away. If indeed the commission has any remaining objections to what has transpired here, then I would ask specifically that the commission subpoena the individuals responsible for this, who were paid for doing this, well, with the exception of Billy Page, who was a volunteer. But I would ask that the commission subpoena the responsible parties to have them be accountable for the work that they did not do, and so that I don't personally have to bear the brunt of their failings or have a fine for campaign finance violations besmirch my name any further There was enough gossip and rumor about this over the years, and I've never had a problem with this. I've always personally been very meticulous about making certain that these campaign finance disclosure laws were adhered to, and that we, did everything according to the book. So I would ask the commission to put me on the side of the table of the commission, so as to be, if there is to be any accountability here, that the people who did this be held accountable, and that no fine be levied that would personally suggest that I have in any way committed a campaign finance violation.
Any discussion?
Well, if the committee is defunct, then is this all going to be moved, or
Well,
what would happen?
Again, these are committee violations, all right? But as a candidate, who appointed?
I hired these people, yes.
But you should have some indication of what's going on. But
Well,
at the same time, the committee has been dissolved. There's no money in the committee, and these don't constitute personal violations. I don't think, I've said this over and over again, where a committee is defunct and doesn't have any money left in its treasury, that there's no one left to fine. You have to fine the committee. And we can't accept, we should not accept a personal check for the outstanding fine. But nonetheless, the fine exists. And is this one of these, stay out of business for 2 years and the fine gets abated?
Yes, basically, if like many committees that are inactive, that owe the state board fines, assuming that they don't have any money left in their accounts, after 2 years from the final order, they not form a successor committee to find something.
Has the final order been done on this?
No, it would be issued once the board votes on this.
Well, be it as may, the committee is accountable as a committee. Okay. And the candidate is responsible to know what her committee's doing, or his people. There should have been some inquiry here, but we're not going to cast blame on any individuals. Committee violation, the committee's dissolved. You stay inactive for 2 years, no successor committee, or then the fine is paid. That's our rule. So, is there a motion on that?
Well, is that as to vote?
I don't think
Do you have a rebuttal?
We're still just talking about 46 right now.